Thank you for tuning in to the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast, BHLC Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode 66. Glad to be here doing this show this evening. Out here at Mr. G's, here at Silver Road here in Louisville, Kentucky. Y'all make sure y'all come out here tonight. I think they got DJ going on about 9 or 10 o'clock in the back. It's free, and karaoke up front about 9 or 10 o'clock. So come out here and enjoy yourself and get your little fake singing on with karaoke. Hope everybody's having a great day on this August 8th. Beautiful day here in Louisville, Kentucky. Let me go over first and foremost. Let me go over this. The opinions and views of this podcast are not facts. The opinions and views of this podcast are not facts. And if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, make sure you do on YouTube. BHLC Podcast on YouTube. I'm also on Spotify, so give me a listen there. Wanted to go over this. My main sponsor, Mr. G's, I just put them out there. I appreciate them letting me come here and do this. Also, too, much love to the Smile Center, Dr. Kane, out on LaGrange, 7405 LaGrange Road here in Louisville, Kentucky. Make sure you go check him out if you want to get your dental plan right. And also, KAC, Kentucky Alternative Care, Kentucky Alternative Care. Wellness is always first thing on their list when you come to see them. Also, too, want to go over the fact that August 20th, I'll be at 1020 Brewery here in Louisville, Kentucky. 1020 Brewery here in Louisville, Kentucky at 7:30. Y'all come see me do my stand-up. I appreciate it. See if anything else I forgot here. Also, yes, I'll be on Mook in the morning sometimes. And Mook in the morning goes off on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 o'clock a.m. Please tune in. It's on Instagram. On Instagram, it's a streaming site. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Mook in the morning. And we have a good time. Tune in. Might even get educated a little bit. But you got to have tough skin to tune into it because we're going to be real truthful about what we're saying. So definitely tune in for that. Also, too, let me go over this here real quick before I bring my guests in. Right here at Mr. G's, they got the comedy spot. And I think they're going to have the first comedy show here. Not originally first comedy show, it was one before it, but now it's called the Comedy Spots here at Mr. G's. The first one's going to be August 14th. I think it was the Bob Zaney or somebody. So y'all come out here and check out the comedy spot. It's on I think Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays here. So come check it out. And you may see me on stage one night hosting or doing something, okay? Because I'm definitely going to get on that stage. They're going to get me up there. So please come out here. It's new. It's called the Comedy Spot. Come out here, enjoy yourself August 14th. It's a great venue, great food, and great drinks, and great atmosphere. So, okay. I think I just went over everything. I done went over everything. Sometimes I can go a little bit light skin over. But also, too, before I bring in my guest, I want to go over his credentials just a little bit, even though he'll explain some of that to you, because I always like my guests explain their resume. Hold on, let me get to that part here real quick. So, real quick here. Yeah, he's the, before I bring him in, he's the co-host of the Humanity Podcast. He's the co-host of the Humanity Podcast. He does a lot of. He's been with Dayton Christian. He went to Dayton Christian High School, and he went to the University of Cincinnati. And we have a couple friends in common, Derek Day and some other guys, Aaron Thomason. I'm glad to have him on my podcast, and he's just a real great human being. So I want y'all to give him a real big BHLC podcast, beautiful welcome. Give it up for my good friend, the one and only, Mr. Tommy Stewart. What's going on, Tommy?
Hey, not much. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I was just telling people a little bit about yourself. Glad to have you here. I'm glad to see you here on this August 8th beautiful day here on my podcast. I appreciate having you as a guest. First and foremost, I always like to let my guests go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself, just a little resume. I already told them a little bit about you, but I don't know everything because I just, I know how guests, some people wear a lot of hats in this business, so I don't want to cut you short on your resume. So go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, my name's Tommy. Living actually, I guess, just up the highway from you, up in Cincinnati. Actually drove through Louisville last weekend on my way like to and from Nashville. So just missed you, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess also being a Cincinnatian, I'll forgive the Steelers hat. But
that's right. Oh yeah, I'm a Dallas Steelers fan. You must be a Bengal fan.
Yeah, begrudgingly, I guess. But,
oh man.
But yeah, like I said, I'm a co-host of a weekly live stream podcast, whatever, called The Humanity. I do it with my best friend Matt. We've been friends for about 20 years now.
Right.
Um, yeah, basically just started. I'm sure there's a lot of podcasts do, especially like when it's two friends doing it. Like
Right.
basically the conversations and stuff you see on the show, it's basically just what we've been doing for about 27 years. And like, so of course, like some friends and other people said, when are you two just going to start recording or like do a podcast? I'm like,
Right.
yeah, I guess. Um, yeah. So I guess because we actually had a different podcast, I guess give you another part of my backstory.
Okay.
Yeah, grew up in the church, like pretty fundamentalist Christian,
Okay.
but then probably started doing what they call like deconstructing maybe around like 2018 2017 ish. Started like really like reconsidering a bunch of stuff, changed my views on a lot of things. And then in 2021 actually got diagnosed with cancer. It was melanoma.
Okay.
Ended up being stage 4, which is pretty serious. So then over the summer, basically of 2021, like it started on the back of my head. So at certain angles, you see a big. If it looks like I have a big hole in the back of my head, it's
Okay.
because I have a big hole in the back of my head.
You got one of them big heads like me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a little smaller now, just
Right.
a little bit, but yeah, that's where it started. But then by June of that year, it had spread like all through my abdomen, even like down to my leg. And in July, they actually found it inside my heart. So by that point, like none of my doctors ever said anything like terminal or we're just going to make you comfortable or whatever. But in my mind, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be it. But then, thanks to, I guess if you want to call it the miracle of modern medicine, immunotherapy, fund cancer research, everyone. By September of that year, I was in complete remission. The cancer was just gone.
Good.
So,
Right.
yeah. So that was, I mean, obviously on top of just being really like super relieved to like not be dying or anything.
Right.
What that led to is me just like completely like reevaluating and like reconsidering like pretty much every aspect of my life, from
Right.
my faith, my beliefs, to just what do I consider to be like my definition of success or like a happy life and all this stuff. So eventually by that October, I basically just like completely lost like my faith in any kind of supernatural or deities or anything. Been an atheist almost 5 years now. So that's kind of what I do on the show, like with my friend Matt. Like we just, because he also at about the same time ended up going through a very much similar process for very different reasons. Like he didn't have the cancer part, lucky him. But yeah, we just kind of talk about how we're just basically trying to refigure out life from a like completely different standpoint, different baseline, different set of beliefs or non-beliefs as the case may be. So yeah, and the show started as me and him just like talking through like a lot of different issues and like our experiences like in the faith, how we view things now that we're out of it. But then what seemed to be a bit more of a popular thing, and once we actually started growing an audience, we basically just like watch, whether it's like apologetics videos or videos touching on like religion, philosophy, science, a little politics here and there, and just reacting to that. So yeah, our channel, The Humanity, you can find us on YouTube. The little tag is at The Humanity Live, all one word, if people want to check that out. We're on Wednesday nights at 8 Eastern. So yeah, come hang out.
Man, that's great, man. That's great. I'm glad to hear that you're doing all right, because every day I tell everybody, life is not easy. Let me say it first, foremost. Life is not easy. And we all got a journey. We all got things we deal with. And I appreciate you putting the story out there with everything you're going through, because there's always somebody out here going through something that might need to hear that to get their own little inspiration going. So really appreciate you putting the story out there, because like I said, everybody's life and everybody's got a journey. You just got to embrace it through the universe. Is wherever direction the universe take you. I tell people that. So, but I want to put this on the board here, because I seen what y'all was talking about this, and I want to get educated on it, because y'all was talking about it, and I'm just trying to understand, because you can say I have a strong faith, a strong spirit. My mother took me to church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I'm over Christian. But anyway, I'm like, Mom and Dad, God goes this much. But anyway, I would let me get this here, because I'm like, my God, do God take a break? But I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to get educated on science and Christianity. I know you was talking about that on your podcast. I'm like, well, I want to even learn more about it. Just can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because I like how the blend is, and I didn't know science had a blend with Christianity. So, would you explain to my people, my subscribers, for that?
Well, yeah. So, yeah, what you're referring to is on this our last episode. We're actually watching a sermon from mine and my co-host Matt's former church, church we used to go to here in Cincinnati. And we watch one of their sermons like once a month, kind of like our little special thing. But yeah, the sermon was basically talking about trying to kind of confront these like issues. Like there's like a lot of ideas out there, whether you're on the super like fundamentalist Christian side, like you may be like kind of like anti-science because because science tells us things like evolution and all this stuff. So they kind of shun that and say like, no, we're not interested in science. We just need the Bible. But then, yeah, on the other side, maybe the more like whether scientists or not, but people who are just like, nope, science is all there is. Like there's like the Bible is like completely antithetical to it or any kind of religion really. I mean, and so this church was trying to reconcile the two, and I think it is an interesting conversation. Unfortunately, I don't think this particular church was doing a very good job of it.
Okay.
But yeah, because they were bringing up things because one, I think they were doing too much of like a false dichotomy because they weren't even saying, well, these are two extremes. They almost were just presenting it as like, well, these are the two camps people fall in. And it's like,
Okay.
now there's actually like a pretty broad spectrum in the middle between there. There's a lot of like very high level scientists who are themselves religious. There's a lot of Christians out there who still accept science and like try to work it out, but they tried like, nope, it's basically these extremes and then us in the middle where we got it all figured out or whatever. Which is like interesting take, but yeah, and I mean up to like and including like some of the things they brought up where they tried to explain like where the science is now, or like, I mean, I hate to say it, but some of it was just outright lies. Like we literally in the middle of the show, because they were talking about specifically this thing out of Harvard called the Origins of Life Project, like research, because where this church was trying to come from, it's like, science can't explain where life came from, therefore it was clearly God and it was a miracle. Science has nothing to say. They said, like, look, even this Harvard scientific research group on the origin of life, they completely shut down because they said we couldn't find anything. So it's obviously a miracle. But we literally on the show, I did a web search for Harvard Origins of Life Research Project and just showed the web page on the stream, and it's still active. So okay. I don't know what they were thinking, saying, oh, yeah, it completely shut down like 10, 15 years ago. They just gave up. It's like, no, it's still active. They're still working on it. So,
right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, science can be, and I'm sure, I loved science when I was in school, too. I love science. I still like science today. Speaking of that, matter of fact, I was watching the science fiction movie Spider-Man before I came to this podcast. So I just tell you how much I like science. The new Spider-Man is a good movie, too, if you haven't seen it. Well, I haven't
seen any of the new ones, but yeah.
It's a good movie. I like science fiction movies. I like science. And I do believe there's a blend with Christianity. So, because, if you go through your journey through life, science and Christianity, I'm sure it can blend together, just depending on where you're at in your life. A lot of times it can blend together, as long as some people don't put the negative spin on it, because there's a lot of things in science, people that saves this world, it helps this world out, with science. So, and people are still researching on science to this moment, So, and I'm a real big fan of science and people that are doing research on it, because the science is big in this world and for what we're trying to accomplish and everything. So, I've always said,
me too. I mean, science, as I said, like literally saved my life 5 years ago. So big fan.
That's great, man. That's great because, like I said, it's got to go hand in hand because we got so much technology now, and there's so much you can do. And between AI just took over. It's almost like I'm an AI person right now talking to you. AI just took over, which is a beautiful thing. But here, I will say this too, Tommy. I said this on stage. I said, so you want me to trust AI? Okay. You want me to trust something that's artificial intelligence? Is that what you're telling me? So basically, the brain is artificial. It's not real. Nah, I'm good. Nah. but AI is artificial. I understand though. It does do a lot of things, and they really are getting advanced in medicine too. It kind of goes with the science because medicine's so advanced now too. And I just really wish they found a cure for cancer, because it really irks me because I've always said this to myself, and I think I've said it on this podcast. And one of my main things on this podcast is learn, share, and inspire. LSI is what I call it, learn, share, and inspire. And I've always like, man, if we could figure out how to put a man on the moon, from here to there within hours. We forgot to do this. We do all. Why ain't we got this cancer research thing down here? And I know I've heard people say a lot of money's in the medicine, the practice. I get all that, but I feel like there should be some type of thing that already have the answer to this thing. But with that said, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not the one in charge of all that. So, but that's just my opinion. I've always said on this podcast, because I want people to be able to have a great life and keep life until this time for their journey to end, because everybody's always going to the next chapter of their life. It's matter not if you turn the page or not, but it's coming. And, I tell people, embrace it,
for sure.
It's coming either way. Some people don't want to embrace the next chapter. They're still on chapter 2. This is a big book. You still on chapter 2. You need to be on chapter 10. Mm-hmm. So people don't want to embrace it,
That's actually been a big thing, like throughout pretty much my entire adult life, even before like going through the cancer thing and like that whole big transition. I remember once I started thinking about it, probably in my mid to late 20s, and every time I thought about it, like I was thinking, just taking a look back at myself like 5 years ago, where it's like, not only am I in a lot of ways such a different person than I was 5 years ago. Like most of the time when I look at it, I think, man, 5 years ago, me would hate me right now, probably. So,
right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it is. It goes hand in hand together. I tell people. So here's another one I want to talk about, which I always talk about on the show, because especially me being a military vet, mental health has always been close to me, because, I know, I think it was over in Indiana. They were just saying here the other day, they was going to get rid of all the homeless camps in Indiana. And my wife looked at me, well, where are they going to go at? I said, I don't know, baby. That's a good question. I said, I think it's kind of cruel. I said, I understand they're homeless, and every story, there's a different story for everyone. Some don't want to be dealing with everyday human beings or what the case may be. And some do. So, but I really feel on that. But a lot of it pertaining to mental health too, because mental health is real. I tell people, and I'm always about mental health first, especially besides your self-growth. What do you think about mental health?
Oh, I'm again very big fan. Like also something I did starting a year and a half ago. Almost, it'll be like 2 years, I think, like this November. Like I've been seeing a therapist regularly for a while. So yeah, which I highly recommend. But again, speaking of the cost, I understand for a lot of, unfortunately, the way things are, like maybe for some people, cost is like prohibitive for that kind of thing. But if you can swing it, if your insurance covers it, or you can just find like a cheap one, like, even if you don't think you need it, like say like, well, I'm not depressed, or I'm not having anxiety, or I'm not experiencing any like traumatic anything right now. I think just anyone could benefit from just talking to a professional, just seeing where you're at, figure yourself out, how could, even if you think you're good, like how could you improve? There's always something for that. Yeah.
You are right on, because I've said this to this podcast. Sometimes you think the worst thing for you could be the best thing for you in your life. Don't be, especially as men, don't be scared to get help. I've been to a therapist. I understand it. I tell people there's nothing the matter with getting help. It's the best. It could be the best thing for you in your life to kind of clear some things in your mind that you need to clear. You need an independent voice, independent listener to understand your angles and where you're coming from in life and what you're dealing with, not the everyday person you deal with. And that's why I tell people a therapist is a great thing if you can afford it, like you said. But they got some programs out here too where you can go through and maybe get one, but don't cost as much, or maybe even free. You just got to look into that. And I know the military does. So, but with that said, I tell people it's real out here, mental health. You just never know what a person's going through on a daily basis. And I think I was telling Aaron, he was on Aaron Thomas. I was telling him last time he was on this podcast last month. It seems like since 2020, mental health has even went up even higher, because of things that hit us in 2020, the pandemic and everything. And I get that, so good and bad, because some people needed it, to get things right in their life, because whether you're a mother, father, husband, whatever you are, you need to don't be scared to get the help. A lot of us are scared of help, because sometimes if you don't get that help, next thing you know, you're looking at a situation where you could avoid it if you just would have went and got some help. You're sitting like, man, how did I get this situation? If you just would have maybe went and got a little help. So it's nothing to matter with it. Like I said, men, I don't know what it is with men. We don't like to go to doctors. We don't like to go to get no help for mental health. We like, I'm good. I can figure it out myself. And them caveman days are gone. 1865, they're gone. You gotta get that help. It's gone. The caveman is gone. Back when they hit the woman upside the head and pull her into the cave, them are gone. They're gone. Yeah. We gotta walk side by side and get help if we need it, and get help for your mate if you see your mate need help, or a friend.
Yeah.
You always do. You never know what a text or a hug can do. I tell people, it can cover a lot from a person get ready to do something they ain't got no business doing. So, but I'm real big with mental health. And
Yeah.
I can just tell you a lot of stories on mental health here. But but it's the thing you have to really, really work on and be conscious enough to be sincere about getting better with your mental health, And
Right.
so the best people in my life I love, they got mental health issues. I love them. They're human
Yeah.
beings.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, we're all dealing with something. And, the way I like to look at it, I hear a lot of people will say this, just think of your brain, your mind as just like another part of your body. Like, you go see, your regular doctor regularly, see your dentist regularly. If you need to see your eye doctor regularly. So just think of the same way with your mind. Like, see your therapist regularly. It's just taking care of your brain is just your mind. It's just like taking care of any other part of your body. And yeah, like you said, I agree. Like, unfortunately, for some reason there's a big stigma on like people like going to see a therapist, seeing a counselor or whatever they need. But yeah, it's mind maintenance basically. So
It
yeah.
really is. Somebody here
Mhm.
at the Human Tommy said,
Oh, that's
even in,
me.
that's you. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I was like, okay, I seen it there. I figured it might have been you too. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, mental health is real, and don't be afraid to call somebody or give a text or whatever, but help somebody out with that because mental health is real. Um, Also, too, here's another one, family. I don't know. I mean, I've always been a good family person. I know some people feel different, just depending on how you was brought up and who your family is, and if you still know your family. Because some people don't know who their family are. But I've always been one who's been a big stigma about showing family love. How you feel about family?
Oh yeah. I mean, so I got two kids. I mean, and I consider that like as far as like who I am and like my priorities in life, like that's it. Like top priority there is just
Right.
being a dad, like above all else. I mean, unfortunately, I'm actually like speaking of family in the process of ending my marriage, but
Okay.
doing a
I'm on my
dissolution. But yeah,
second marriage. I'm feel bad. I'm on my second marriage.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Hey, yeah. Like I said, it happens. Like I said,
oh
but
yeah,
between the two of us, like there was nothing like big, like a big love or anything. It was just as we both like were going, and also like as I was going through like all my changes and reconsidering, like we both just realized, like yeah, we're just two different people. Like we're wanting like completely different things out of life, wanting to go different directions. So
right.
yeah, it just didn't make sense. So yeah, so speaking of things, I think there's a big stigma about like with divorce or separation or whatever. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's ugly. I mean, I'm not certainly not saying it's been fun. I mean, yeah, it's been
Right.
really tough. But I mean, the
Right.
thing I say to people like staying in a bad marriage is worse than divorce. Like not
Yep.
just for the couple, but like even if you have kids, because like people often say, well, just do whatever you do like to keep it together for the kids. But like, but if it's not working, like it affects the kids too. Like I mean,
Yep.
it's not good for them for like two people who just it just doesn't make sense to be married anymore. Just staying together just cause. I mean, that's not good for the kids either. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think like we've been able to do a good job. Like I said, like when like we still like I said, we still have the two kids together, so we're still doing like the co-parenting thing, and like we
Right.
still do get
Mhm.
together like for kids' birthdays and like other stuff. So like when we're around each other, we get along. We're not like
Right.
at each other's throats or anything. But yeah, so I think that's also good for the kids. Just the like in a way, I'd say like we get along better now that we're separated. So I think that's probably better for like the kids to
Yeah.
see too. But
It's great.
yeah,
Yeah, for the kids to see you on the positive light. Because like I tell people, if you stay married, I know my divorce. You know, you don't want the kids seeing you in a negative light. I want my kids to at least see a positive light, see us in a positive light. So when they do go out and maybe get a relationship or get married, they didn't see a whole lot of negative light. They see maybe more positive light, and that's good. And what the universe brings together, the universe separates. I tell people that. I truly believe it sometimes, and I know the two people got to work at it to intertwine. I get that, but it's also
hmm
universal. I tell people so, and it's just like it. But I've always said this: if I can get with you on great basis on it, not just being friendly. We should be able to separate friendly if we decide to separate or divorce friendly. But some people can't do it. They don't get together. Where they get together don't end the way they got together. It could be real, real, real toxic, and it's
hmm
not good, especially when you got kids. You don't have kids, maybe, but even then, it's still not good because mentally, that's not good for you. If it's real toxic, or whatever, because one person's feeling one way, the other's feeling the other. So, and
hmm
yeah, but even that though, because I love my family more than I love my family and my relatives and everybody. So I'm always been a good family man, but it is tough, especially in 2026. It is tough in family love, relationships, friendships, all of it, situationships you got out there now. So it's tough, man. It really is. But you just you got to keep moving. You got to keep grinding in life and keep doing it. So, and try to learn and be a better person every day. So.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And honestly, but speaking of like the rest of my family, between like, parents, siblings, I'm still like close with them, keeping good contact with them and everything. Especially like I've been super appreciative of all like the support I've been getting from family, like going through all this, not just going through like the divorce, separation, well, technically doing a dissolution. But yeah, I've been received like huge support from my family through all that. Even like I said, like going back like 5 years ago, like when I ended up like leaving the faith, because like pretty much everyone else in my family, like they're still Christian, still that. But because I'm just super appreciative, because you hear a lot of stories about someone like leaving the faith and their family just like completely shuns them, like shuts them out and all that. But not the case with my family. Like we're all still just as good as we ever were. They still accept me, still love me, still support me and everything. I mean, sure, I can tell they still wish I would, come back to the faith. They'll do little things every now and then. Like my dad recently just like sent me a book, like on like I think it was something about the Book of Psalms. He's like, hey, I sent you a book, maybe read that, see what you think. I'm like, okay, thanks, Dad. I'm good though, but yeah.
If you have that support, man, I tell people, you don't realize how important support is. Even when you're older or younger, support is very, very vital. I tell people that I'm gonna go back a story a long time ago. When I was playing, I played high school football at I'll never forget it. I was playing at Pleasant Park High School, and I was back there ready to get a kickoff return. And my mother had never been in none of my games because she had worked so much. And I looked up in the stands right before they kicked the ball off. She happened to make it. She said she might make it, and she's like, I probably have to work. I won't make it. But she made it. Soon I looked up in the stands and seen her, and I ran that kickoff all the way back, Tommy. So you see what I'm saying about support? Like I said, when you have that support, you're like, okay, I'm getting ready to do this, So I tell you, support is very vital. It really is. It's very vital, man. I tell people. So, and sometimes, like I tell people, family, just because you blood related don't make you family. You can be related to somebody that ain't got to be blood related. They still family. So I have people that I call family because they've always been a big part of my life, So they really have. So
there's things like the family you choose is sometimes stronger than the family you're born into. Things like that. But speaking of which, so if you're familiar with that phrase, blood is thicker than water.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Well, did you know that's actually not the full quote?
It ain't. What's the full quote on it?
Well, first of all, not only is it not the full quote, the full quote actually means the opposite. Because most people use that saying like blood is thicker than water, meaning like, your family bonds, like, your biological family is the strongest bond there is. But the full quote is, I don't remember the exact words, but it's essentially the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Meaning again, so like I said, the covenants you make yourself, that's where terms like blood brothers, stuff like that. So basically the relationships and stuff you choose. So as much as I say, like, as much as I love my family because of how supportive they are, but like, which I'm very grateful for, but if they didn't treat me this well, like if they did like shut me out or whatever, then I wouldn't feel any obligation to them. Well, just because they're blood, like if they're going to treat me like this, then I'm going to go with the people who do treat me well. But like I said, I'm fortunate. Like I'm getting it from both sides, family and not family. Like just support everywhere. So I'm lucky.
Just great, and that's why I feel I'm lucky to have the love and support I got. Politics. I don't know if you do too much politics. I was on. Matter of fact, I was on Mook in the morning. But yesterday we was talking about politics. Yesterday about some different stuff on politics, and I'm gonna say this real quick. Well, how do you feel about politics? I got something deep to go into. How do you feel about politics? I got something I want to say, but I'm gonna let you go. Before I get into it.
Well, I feel much like in the past couple of years, I feel much more strongly about it than I had before, because I went through a time where I was pretty ambivalent towards it.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up like pretty like conservative Republican kind of on that end, but then went through a more like libertarian and then like anarchist streak like several years ago, but just kind of disillusioned with the whole thing. But then like more I was thinking about it and looking with the way things are kind of going in politics in this country and just realizing, I think maybe the reason I kind of felt comfortable just kind of stepping away, like, even if I wouldn't say it this way, I kind of had that feeling of, well, I'm above all that. Like, that's all beneath me. But But I think where that was coming from for me was just from a real place of privilege. Because yeah, I mean, if you, as you notice, as a straight white man, there's a lot of times it really kind of doesn't matter to me personally, like who's president, who's in Congress. Because like
Yeah.
I'm pretty much always the same either way. But understanding there's other populations. Yeah, but understanding there's other populations here in this country who aren't as privileged as I am, where like it unfortunately really does matter. So, so for me to just kind of stay out and not be involved, like in a way, I kind of saw, oh, maybe that kind of makes me complicit in a lot of like the shit that's happening to a lot of people. But so yeah, I got a little more involved now. Like I'm certainly not like officially a Democrat or anything, but definitely like on the left side of things now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, man. I just feel like, man, with politics, and you hit it on the head. Them making difference with the president, it's the same things going on, the same events, same problems we got in the United States. And I get that wholeheartedly. But that's what I tell people. That's what I tell them in the morning yesterday. Nothing against the Democrat Party, nothing against the Republican Party, and definitely nothing against the Independent Party. I understand the history is supported. Boston Tea Party, I understand the history. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. Just because there's a label don't mean you have to follow it. I've always said if we didn't have the parties, and nothing against them, we didn't have the parties, Tommy. If people were just people, like we human beings, just people, and we just do for the people of the world, I think a lot of this wouldn't be happening right now. It's like I use just one little small example. I know over here in America we have a big problem with healthcare and everybody having healthcare insurance, okay? But then if I move to Germany today, I automatically got healthcare for life. You see where I'm going with this? So that's why I said, I know politics touch it, but that's just my view on it, because I think a lot of times the politicians, and nothing against some of these politicians, I love them. I think some of the best politicians are the ones that can lie good. So what they say, I love them. They can I'm like, he speaks so well, but he lies well too. So, but but nothing against them. But they only human and they make mistakes. So they do a lot of lying. There's a lot of things that need to be amended up here in the White House. That's a whole nother conversation. For the people of the United States, this reason why it need to be amended. I think it was a thing where every 2 years up there, some of them congressmen can give themselves a raise every 2 years. Wouldn't it be nice that when your job, they say, hey, man, every year or two, you can give your own self a raise, whatever it want to be. That's a job I would love to have. So,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm like, my God. But I know politics is deep, but that's just my take on it. And I don't know if we ever get to that point, but sure would be nice because I just think if we would just change up a couple of things, it could be a lot better. But it's too political right now and it's too far gone. And I get that. So for the future, for our kids, I hope they see that one day. But I just say I really do for the future for our kids because I want them to live in a little bit better world, because with you, it's like every year, like you said, it's the same problem with the president. Like, it didn't get no better last year. It felt like this year. Hey, what we doing?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but as far as like what the thing get better or worse with the different presidents, I think it kind of depends on who you are. Because I would argue that with current administration we have, I'd say for a lot of groups of people, things definitely have gotten a lot worse. Because I think he seems to be a bit of an exception. Because I mean, depending on like which side you are, you always hate the person in the other party or whatever. But yeah, they're just. And I know people have said this a lot about different like Republican or Democratic presidents, but I don't know, man. Something does really just seem different about this guy. So like, and because I've known plenty of people who have been like very, like specifically harmed because of. I mean, not just the president, but like the Congress, but basically people like on that side. Like, I'm also not saying it's all Republicans, but like just the far right, like a lot of people are getting very harmed in very real ways because of the people we have in power right now, as opposed to like people we've had before. But just going back to what you were saying about, not liking the fact that we have to have parties. I mean, it's not just that we have parties, but the fact that we only have two. Like, so it's like, where it just severely limits our choices, but it also makes people so much more polarized and like tribalistic about it. Like, well, this is my team versus that team, so therefore anybody on my team is good. Anything they say is good, and anything their team says is bad. Because, and I've seen this in polls now. Again, don't quote me. Like you said earlier at the beginning of the show, like this is all opinion here, so like don't just take my word for it. Look it up or whatever. But I mean, I know I've seen like surveys where if you just ask people their opinions on just specific issues. So let's say like you were talking about like universal healthcare, like, or at least like more access to affordable healthcare, even though like a lot of the times, like on the Republican side, like as a party, they tend to be against that. But if you just ask individual people like just about that one issue, most people tend to be in favor of that, like no matter what, like either side, like of the political aisle is actually doing. When you ask individual people, what do you think about this individual issue? It's like completely different than what the people in Washington are actually doing, or even what those people are say they support in their party. It will say, well, I just support my party, even though they're against this thing. But if you ask their specific, like whether it's like healthcare or foreign policy, whatever, like, yeah, people have like very different views than like just like the two options that were given, like from the Democrats or Republicans. So yeah, so
you're right on that though, man, because it's called a little bit of divide and conquer. A lot of times when I see them politicians talking about the White House after they have these meetings up there with Congress, whatever, it's like they're talking about divide and conquer to me. But it's just a whole other story because you got, like you said, like Democrat against the Republicans. So it's like, but they trying. So I get it. And a lot of these things, a lot of the things that they are trying to amend or whatever was way before their time. I think 30, 40 years ago where somebody messed up. So it's hard coming in trying to correct somebody else's problems. It's kind of almost like in a marriage. If this person's got a lot of luggage, you got married to them, you're trying to correct some things. I need you to trust me, baby. I ain't like him, like the last person you had. Trust me. I'm not the guy who's gonna be at the club about 4 or 5 in the morning. That ain't me. I'll be here at 9, 10 o'clock. So, but it comes with building it up and getting that trust in the person. So so more than anything. But yeah. So, that's what I want to ask you before we got here. Almost like, is there anything before we get off this podcast? And I ask my guests, a lot of my guests, is there anything you want to tell the people that they don't know about you on my podcast? Something that you like or don't like or whatever?
Man, well, I mean,
putting you on the spot, but
and also I imagine like for like your normal audience here, I could probably say anything because I don't think anyone know much of anything about me. Shoot, let's see. Well, I guess one thing maybe a lot of people maybe haven't known me for a while. I'm actually a drummer. Like not in any. I haven't actively played in any bands in probably 20 years or something at this point. But yeah, I still play, and not just on my own personal YouTube channel, which is like the Human Tommy. You can see me over in the chat there if you're on the YouTube side. I just release like some drumming videos. Like I'm not like we're just playing along with different songs that I like. Not in a like it's not one of those like channels where I'm like trying to like totally nail the song and like play it perfectly. No, I'm just playing along with it, saying like, hey, here's a song I really like, I really enjoy, and just playing along with it because I like it. Here, watch, whatever. So
yeah, I feel like it's always something, like I said, I just retired from my job and I've been doing stand-up comedy. I've been a stand-up comedian since the 90s, and nice. And I just enjoy doing it. But if I wasn't a stand-up comedian, I've always said it was maybe one of the two things I wanted to do in my lifetime more than anything was the first one was a long time ago with my friends. This just was a phase, but I wanted to be a rapper. That was a phase I was going through. but other than that, the other one was more than anything, just be a motivational speaker. So I could have been a motivational speaker, still can, but now that I'm a stand-up comedian, I'm still a motivational speaker / stand-up comedian because when you come to the show, if you got anything on your mind for that time you have my show, I'm gonna help you forget that because you're gonna laugh. So to me, I still feel like my motivational speaker. Your soul's gonna feel good. You're gonna laugh. Yeah. You're gonna forget about the bills, or if you're going through this, divorce, whatever you're going through, you're gonna laugh and enjoy yourself. It's gonna be good for your soul. So I do feel like sometimes I am a motivational speaker up there. I am throwing jokes.
Yeah, or you could even consider it cheap therapy too. Bring it back to that. I mean, obviously, not saying it's a replacement for therapy, but yeah, I mean, whether it's like, going to see stand-up comedy or going to see like to your favorite band or like just local music shows
that's
or
why I tell
something.
people,
Yeah.
yeah, just to, because
Mm-hmm.
I've had people come up to me. Matter of fact, after I did one show, this lady, and I was at the grocery store the next day. I had to go grocery store. This lady walked right up to me, Tommy, said, "I seen you the other night at the Louisville Comedy Club. You were so funny. Thank you." She said, "I needed that." I said, "Well, I appreciate that." And I said, "Please come to any more of my shows. I would love to make you laugh even more." I said, "Because that's what it's about. We need to laugh to be better, spirited, a better spirited person." So laughter is always good for the soul. I tell people that. So always.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and
You
same
got-
like that's we get kind of similar feedback like on the show that I do like with my friend Matt every week. It's like because like I said, we talk a lot about like range of topics from like religion, philosophy, science, whatever. Like neither of us are experts by any means on any of these things. We're just
Right.
giving our opinions, talk about stuff, but most of it because I mean, especially like because it's kind of hard like when people ask me about the show like describe, well, what is your show, what do you do? Because I feel like when I describe it I feel like it doesn't really sound like much because like especially like if you're on like the kind of like atheist side of YouTube, like I mean there's like a billion shows of like a couple atheist dudes watching videos about like religion or whatever and critiquing it. It's like, but I feel like what kind of sets our show apart, and this is from the feedback we've gotten from our audience, small as it is, we just recently got to 200 subscribers.
That's great.
But they just tell us like it seems like we just from the people who are there, we got a bunch of regulars, like we just kind of built like a nice little community. Like people just enjoy being there. They enjoy like because we do a lot of interaction like with our the chat, like people in the comments are like interacting with each other, like just having a good time. And people have told us like it also just for them because we attract all different kinds of people, kind of like the weirdos or whatever. Okay. And they say like coming to our show just feels like a safe place for them to just come hang out and be themselves. Especially something I haven't mentioned, like me and my co-host, like something we both found out about ourselves a couple of years ago or so. Like we're both autistic. He's definitely been diagnosed with ADHD. I may be as well. So just like generally like neurodivergent, like that's a big thing on our show, something we talk about a lot. So we have a lot of people in our audience who are autistic, ADHD, or other forms of neurodivergent. And they've told us like, just like explicitly, like we feel like this is a safe place for us to be and just hang out and be ourselves. We got people in the crowd who are like gay, lesbian, trans, straight, whatever. It's like, it's just
transgender on this podcast. I've had transgender on this podcast.
Yeah,
so I'm all about the human being. I tell people that I'm about the human being, Tommy. I don't judge it like I know y'all talk about different religions, whether it's atheists, whatever y'all. I don't judge the religions either. I don't judge nobody's religion, nobody's sex, nobody's preference. That's you. Who am I to judge? That's only the man upstairs. I tell people that, so I don't do that. Judging only brings you down as an individual. So I tell people now. Yes, I'm entitled to my opinion. If you want to hear it, fine. If not, that's fine too. But that's all these platforms are for people to hear your opinion about things. Some people take it to heart because their opinion is different. They feel strongly about their opinion. And okay, that's the way you feel, but understand this. Just because you have an opinion don't make it right. That's why I tell people, my opinion is not always right. But the way they reply back like if they are right. And that's why I tell them, it's not about right or wrong. It's just about having an opinion. You can right now we can agree to disagree. We can right now on this podcast disagree about a topic, and I still got love for you. I ain't gonna be no. Agree to disagree is having a good communication with each other to understand each other's side. That's what it's about.
Exactly. And like speaking of our show, like I said, me and my co-host, like we're both atheists, and that's kind of you might call it like an atheist show. But like for a while, like we would have like several guests on. Like I remember, like after we started having like 5, 6, 7 guests on, we like both looked at each other. Like so far, like none of our guests have actually been atheists. Like we're like the worst atheist show ever. Kind of joking about it, but yeah, this like we even had like one of our first guys on was even like a guy who identifies as Christian. But we're like we don't care as long as you're cool and want to talk about stuff with us. Yeah, well. It's all good. So I mean, and even like speaking to my kids, like both my kids, like they're still both Christian. I don't care. They don't care that I'm not. But we'll even like talk about like I love how they even come to me like getting my opinion on different like theological matters and stuff. And like we just have conversations, and it's fine. You can just talk. It's okay. Like.
Yeah, and that's good. It's good to have a conversation because all a podcast says is one-on-one conversation or one with the other guests. You have a couple of conversations, but just a conversation. But like I said, having that conversation, you want to be open about it. Don't be too
Mm-hmm.
judgmental about it. Like I said, agree to disagree, but try not to. Some people just feel like their opinion is so right. And I get how they feel strong about it. I get all that. That's like too with the Bible. A lot of people want to do quotes from the Bible, and they say, I get all that. I'm not judging you. That's your opinion. I understand how you feel, but I have my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Respect my opinion like I respect your opinion,
Yeah, exactly.
Just can't do that. So, but with that said, man, I've enjoyed having you on this podcast, man. And I really enjoyed talking with you, and enjoy hearing your story when you first came on about what you've been through with your cancer. And I wish you well on that. And truly, I tell people all the time, if God put you on this planet, He's got a journey for you. You just got to embrace it. Just embrace it. We all got a journey. Just embrace it. Don't embrace it with envy or just embrace it with, hey, this is who I am. Accept me who I am, and I'm just going to embrace that person for who they are. That's why I try to embrace every human being, unless they disrespect me. But other than that, we good. We good.
Yeah.
I tell people we good because I always try to stay humble because I don't never know when I might need a person or they might need me. So that's what
exactly.
I say. So, but before I let you go, you got to tell people how to get to the podcast and how to get in contact with you, to my subscribers, in case they want to listen to the podcast or come to your page and check out some of the things you got going on your page. I see it was some on your page where I think you were speaking somewhere. You had spoke somewhere or something, or was it? Okay. No, maybe it wasn't.
I don't think so.
It wasn't. Okay. All right. I know you went to University of Cincinnati. You were saying that. Though, so.
Yeah, that's where I did go to college. But at least I don't remember speaking anywhere. I mean, unless I just blacked it out.
Right.
Maybe I got so nervous I just got blackout drunk beforehand. But no, but if people want to check out the show, like I said, it's the name of the show is The Humanity, but obviously I think we went a little too generic on the title because if you just go on YouTube and search The Humanity,
I like the title because it's about human. It says humanity.
Yeah. And real quick, real quick backstory about where we got the title, because I was intending to mention, but ADHD. Me and my co-host Matt, we actually had a different podcast back when we still were Christian, but kind of going through the deconstruction thing. It was called a 3 Beer Gospel. But then once we both left the faith and we're atheists,
you say 3 Beer Gospel.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I like it.
It's still up there if people want to search for it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It's still up there. So if you want to hear, it was kind of funny during the course of that show was basically chronicles our journey through 9 episodes from Christian to atheist, in that short span of time, kind of accidentally because we're so I think it was literally by episode 4 we were both, I think we're atheists now. What are we doing with the show with gospel in the name? No one's gonna want to listen to this. So just realizing, like I said, going back to the whole how often I would look at myself 5 years ago and how much I'd changed, and same with my friend Matt.
Right.
But when we were starting the new show, we're well, we don't want to give it a name that ties us down too much to a certain ideology or a place where we're at. So we just came up with The Humanity, because no matter what we'll do, we'll still be human, I assume. So, but so anyway, so if you want to find us on YouTube specifically, it's all the YouTube channels have their at tag. So if you just search at The Humanity Live, all one word, you'll find us there. Our logo is a red handprint with a yellow circle around it, designed by my friend Matt, because he's really good with artsy stuff like that. But at The Humanity Live, we're on Wednesday nights at 8 Eastern. And don't worry if you don't catch us right on time, because we tend to go pretty long. I think our average is between 4 to 5 hours. So if you just jump on anytime there, you'll find us.
It's called, I'm gonna put it on my page. I'm gonna take off a YouTube page, put it on my page. It's called Humanity Live, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, if you go to YouTube, just search at The Humanity Live, all one word.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna have to. I don't know why I was thinking about, you said the 3 Beer Gospel. It got me thinking about when I used to play in this church league. It was a Catholic church. We played this Catholic church league, and after we get through playing in the gym, playing basketball, there was a league. Okay, after we get through playing basketball, it's no lie. We'd be right back in the parking lot drinking beer. And I'm they're like, oh, y'all good.
Nice.
Y'all good.
Because the name.
Yeah, I'm good because I didn't play too good in basketball today. So.
Because the name came from, I don't know, real quick. You ever heard the phrase having a 2 beer hang? So hanging out, having 2 beers. But me and my friend Matt, when we hang out, we're usually having at least 3. So it's not 3 beer. Yeah. So yeah.
That was my
But yeah,
drinking.
you may have noticed like the
Yeah, I used to drink, but I gave it up though because I was in the military to drink. When I blacked out one time, I was like, okay, I'm done. I blacked out. So,
yeah,
so
no,
it wasn't
smart,
for my
yeah.
light skin blood. It wasn't for these. So
Yeah.
it's bad when you wake up like, where was I at? Was I at home or was I with God? Where was I at? So,
Yeah, like I said, it's not for everyone. So yeah, much respect. Like if you're able to keep,
yeah, I
if
give
you
it up.
realize it's not good for you and you're
Nothing
able to
against
stay
people that do
away,
drink.
that's
Got nothing against people.
yeah,
One of my best friends drink all the
yeah.
time. Nothing against people
Mhm.
drink it. Enjoy it, So I tell
Right.
people, nothing against it because everybody does something to take off the edge, whatever it may
Yeah.
be. So be it. So,
Yeah,
but
and just realizing what works for yourself, and like, yeah, you realize that didn't work. So yeah, and if it's something you have been doing for a while, it's a hard thing to quit and stay away from.
oh,
So a
it
lot
is.
of respect for you for that, man. So
Oh yeah,
it's
it
not
is.
easy.
It was tough, but I just went cold turkey. So, but man,
Nice.
really enjoyed having you on this podcast, man,
Yeah, man.
and hopefully, I definitely. I always, what I do is, I'll run this podcast again. I don't know when, it might be another week or two from now, whatever. I'll run it again, and maybe I'll just let you know too, so people somebody can see it out there, maybe get educated on some things what we talked about. So, because I'm all about it's what this platform is for, about helping people out there that are going through some things and also enjoying themselves while they're watching the podcast, get a smile and enjoy themselves because life's too short not to enjoy every moment of your life. So, but
Right.
I really appreciate you having on this podcast, man, and hopefully, maybe like I said, we'll run cross paths again, and maybe I have you on this podcast again. I'll do a follow up because I have done follow up guests, and
cool.
I really enjoyed having you on here. And just keep being who you are, and I know you're gonna do that. Keep being yourself, and I can't do nothing but love you for that when you're yourself. So, and I really enjoyed having you on here. So, is there anything else you want to say before I can let you get out of here?
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, love being on too. Yeah, good to get to know you, and yeah, thanks for the invite. Yeah, glad it worked out, and yeah.
Okay. If I come to a Cincinnati Bengals game against the Steelers, I will look you up. Now I don't know if you'll answer the phone if you see me with the Steeler head on, but I will look you up.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and we both gonna probably have a long season. I'm talking like I got an old ARP quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, so don't get me started. I know we ain't gonna do it this year, so at least you got Joe Burrow. You just ain't got no defense, but other than that, you're good.
Yeah, well, yeah, and also like as long as we can actually keep him healthy for a full season, we might be
If he only plays like 5 or 6 games, that's it. 500 million for 5 or 6 games, I can do that. So
yeah, shit, yeah.
But man, I enjoyed having you on here, man. You enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you for being a guest. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Thanks.
No problem. Well, that was my good friend Tommy Stewart from up Cincinnati, Ohio. Real good guy. And y'all heard him. Great guy. Y'all go check out his podcast, Humanity Live, on YouTube every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Go check that out. And I tell people, and let me go over this. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast, BHLC podcast on YouTube. I do my podcast every second Saturday. I have another guest coming up in September on the second Saturday. I think it's around September 8th, 9th, 10th, 7th through 9th for sure. But tune in. And I appreciate everybody that is watching this podcast and do subscribe to it. And anything you do for this podcast, I appreciate it. I really do. Like I said, try to be a better person. LSI, learn, share, and inspire. And what you're going through today may not be what you go through tomorrow. So just embrace what you're going through today because it's preparing you for tomorrow, regardless how rough it is today. Okay, just remember that. And also, too, the comedy spot right here at Mr. G's, a new comedy club called the Comedy Spot, August 14th. They got a great headliner here and everything. Y'all come out here and check it out. And like I said, I come out here and support that. You may even see me on stage one night hosting a feature and so and so. And come check me out August 20th at 10 Craft Brewery on East Main Street, August 20th at 7:30 p.m. With all that said, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm the one and only big head light skinned comedian. Thank you for tuning in to my podcast. I see y'all again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Much love to y'all. Much light skin love. Come hear me tell them light skin jokes August 20th. I gotta go to work.